What's good, everybody? Queen Common Sense back to you with another one. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is staying safe, protected, drinking your water, minding your business, holding it down, keeping everybody protected and loved on, prayed up, all that good stuff. Um Took a little nap, got back up again, and I just wanted to share what the Spirit dropped on my heart when I ran across this particular information on social media. Just a little bit of encouragement and a reminder in this era of lunacy that we are witnessing with this fear mongering and the MAGA FAFO smoke and mirrors, the epic emotional meltdown that these palm colored people are having because they want to ally now with black women and black men because they are now finally allowing it to sink in that their white privilege is also going to be removed along with a lot of the other things that uh, cause them to somehow think that they are exempt from the narcissist who is going to take office again, exempt from reaping the consequences of voting for him. But I'm here to just give us a little reminder of how resilient we are as Black people, especially Black women who nobody really wanted to listen to until now. Now people are begging to form alliances with blue bracelets, and instantaneous microwave alliances where we just supposed to blink our eyes and twitch our nose and nod our head like I dream a dream genie and cuff these people who have targeted us and reap the benefits of said white privilege up until present day. But what have we always done, right? We have always found a way to work around, always found a way to troubleshoot, always found a way to overcome the madness of the insurmountable ridiculousness of said oppression, right? So I'm just here to remind our lovely Black people, our melanated kings and queens, don't forget, do not forget that we have warriors behind enemy lines, okay, who are sharp sniping this here campaign, this promotion of reverting back to the Jim Crow era. The warriors standing in the big house in our favor who are not sellouts. One of my favorites is Jasmine Crockett. Okay. And I just want to give a little look see of how hard she's going in the paint for our people. If you haven't already, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. This is not going to be a long one. I'm just, I'm feeling a little bit better, and my voice is getting back stronger, and my appetite is slowly coming back. It's hard to keep some things down, but I wanted to do this before I started feeling bad again because it was on my spirit. to further encourage our Black and brown melanated kings and queens. Don't get caught up in the okey doke, okay? Because we got a checkmate on the chessboard, child. We don't have to we don't have to argue with these retardicans, okay? We don't have to let these microscopic, narrow-minded, wannabe Nazis offend us. We've heard it all before. We've seen it all before. This is just rinse and repeat of what these beings have been doing for centuries. Okay? And the fool on them for thinking that just because they share the same skin as the narcissist that they are somehow different and exempt to the suffrage that he has planned for this country, because he's not thinking about nobody else but himself. It's what narcissists do. Okay? So, if you would care to bless the channel, that's my Cash App. Hit the like and subscribe. That is free. No pressure on either one. But I'm trying to stay in the algorithm and I'm trying to step my game up until I get back to work. Okay, so this is my hustle until then. So thank you for all the love and all the prayers and all the support since I've been ill. I was a little scared. I'm still a little nervous, okay? So you're ain't spring chicken no more. So if you don't get sick a lot, like I do, I don't get sick a lot. And when you do, sometimes it brings you down a couple notches. It take a little bit longer to get back up to 100%. Pardon me. As you can see, it's drying up a little bit. Lungs are still not quite back 100%. Okay? So let's take a peek at this together. This is our good sis, Jasmine Crockett. Okay? And she is standing in the house for us on our behalf. Giving it to him. Okay? That's the best way to put it. So here she is with her beautiful, intelligent, brilliant self. Shout out to Roland Martin. One of the only African American melanated news outlets on here. Okay? And she walked a dog up there, you know, with the GOP. She handed down a nice firm read and gathered all of them nicely. Okay, so here she is with Roland Martin, giving a little synopsis of how she had to remind them of why, removing our history from the schools is just like saying it never happened. Okay? Just whining. They think they're oppressed, and she had to remind them what oppression really is. Let's go.
Things out there saying, see, right there. Congresswoman Crockett, she's the problem. That's the problem with these Democrats. They keep using this woke language, and this is why they're going to keep losing.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I was watching commentary from the New Zealand Parliament, and there was a line that really caught me as they're having kind of this struggle as it relates to Indigenous people. And the line was, when you are accustomed to privilege, to then have to deal with equality makes you feel as if you are oppressed. And that line hit me so deep because that's exactly what it is. These are people that have enjoyed privilege their entire lives, whether they want to recognize it or not. And for literally everyone, because I kept saying, where's Byron? Where is Byron? Is Byron about to jump in this? Because I want to see what Byron has to say, because Byron served on the committee as well. But for some reason, Byron wasn't around to debate this particular bill being marked up. And the author of it, Representative Cloud out of Texas, was complaining that right now they are being oppressed. And then there was an issue with Higgins out of Louisiana, where he was arguing that he had been oppressed because Ayanna Pressley asked him to stop misusing the legacy of Martin Luther King and basically honor the wishes of Martin Luther King's family. And he said, see, y'all are trying to oppress me. You're trying to take away my First Amendment right. And it was just frustrating because they consistently use this language and they really don't understand what oppression is, or they want to pretend like they don't understand. And that's why I needed to make sure I reminded them of what Google has defined oppression as. And I'm sure any other reasonable dictionary defines oppression in a similar way. And they are not being oppressed. They are whining little men.
You mentioned New Zealand, and of course, Parliament was temporarily shut down. This is what after Maori lawmakers performed a haka, a traditional dance demonstrating the community's anger over you talking about the treatment of indigenous people in that particular bill. Pull the audio up, y'all, real quick. Come on.
The deadline is approaching for Americans who are still making.
How they did this haka on the Senate floor of the Pacific Islanders and indigenous people like that. It was amazing. Y'all peep this out. Be encouraged, okay? We listen. It's not over till it's over.
Come on, I wish y'all break out in the haka on the floor of the house.
I don't necessarily.
Y'all saw that, right? Now, we got Jasmine. They got their reps over there with the haka. We got Ayanna Pressley standing on business. No wonder why these folk are begging for our alliance.
Black women.
Okay, check it out. Watch this one. This is Ayanna Pressley giving them the business. Okay. Hold on. Let's get to it.
Having sat and read the text in preparation for today's markup, I have yet another example to tell my constituents about the unserious work of the Republican Party. Now, I'll work with anyone serious about progress who wants to center the people who call this country home. This isn't it. The Committee on Oversight has the broadest jurisdiction in the entire House of Representatives to investigate any topic it chooses, but we are debating legislation that denies the sky is blue, water is wet, and racism is real. The major provision of the bill says to ban anything that acknowledges racism. And a few pages later in the exact same bill, there are multiple provisions discussing the presence of racism. This Republican approach is as predictable as it is nonsensical. On one hand, they're saying that racism does not exist. On the other hand, they are saying there is rampant reverse racism. Well, how do you reverse something that never existed in the first place? Riddle me that. While this Republican policy may have a new name, it's the same old tired game. Look, y'all are entitled to your opinions, but not a denial of the facts. Do you all know your history? Do you know American history? The original Constitution counted enslaved individuals as 3/5 of a person. During World War II, the federal government forcibly relocated and incarcerated 110,000 Japanese Americans. The FHA practiced redlining in the 1930s and 60s to deny mortgages to Black Americans, which is why we have a racial wealth gap today. I could go on. The GI Bill, which is supposed to be race neutral, denied access to Black Americans, denying them equal access to education and housing benefits, which is why we do not have generational wealth. Don't talk to me about merit when those Black servicemen fought for our freedoms. And I'd also just like to take a personal note of privilege to say, please keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s name out of your mouths. Yes. Your perversion of his words and his mission when his children have asked you to stop invoking his name and perverting his work when he was a proud and unapologetic Black man fighting for equality for Black Americans and all marginalized people. So you all are entitled to your opinions, but not a denial of the facts. But I'm not surprised that you would deny American history. What I am, though, is committed. Committed to speaking truth to power, committed to standing up for marginalized communities and vulnerable people, committed to ensuring that everyone has equal opportunity to buy a house, to work a job, to pursue higher education, and to live in a society that is fair and just. A colleague across the aisle invoked the phrase of, we must do everything to stop government-sponsored oppression. Well, I've just enumerated numerous examples, which is exactly why we have legislation and an executive order to reverse this harm. And that is why I'm committed to opposing this bill and urge my colleagues to do the same.
Look, what we are seeing here, Joy, and when I talk about these programs, you're already seeing it. But they're the victims. These white men are so oppressed.
They got some nerve, y'all. But I just wanted to encourage and remind my beautiful people, my Black men and women, kings and queens, don't fall for the okie doke. Ignore this FAFO MAGA, whatever, the blue bracelet, big and uh, bowing and scraping at our heels now that Black women uh, explain how we can, educate white folks that are part of the 92% that didn't vote for Trump and tell them how we can feel safe with them. And they're ready to work with us now after ignoring us for the past 500 years. Listen, okay? Be encouraged, all right? Let them know. No means no. I've been that way ever since I was in high school. After I graduated high school and went to college, I was like, you know what? Most of the palm colored people that I had real serious, you know, dealings with showed me exactly who they were when the chips were down for Black folks. They act like we weren't there. Whenever one of our children came up missing, whenever it was time to really speak up on the unlevel playing field with the items that were named in here by Representative Presley, everybody was blind, deaf, and dumb and mute. But now they see they ain't different when it comes to this president re-elect here, chump. And this is the final thing I wanted to share with y'all. I think this is pretty dope. One more piece of encouragement for you. And I'm going to mute the sound because it has copywritten music in it. But it's pretty dope, I thought. Check it out.